Hello, everybody. So Alex Karp has a lot of history with Germany. He actually learned in Germany and he is fluent in German. A lot of people, when they look at Palantir, they look at the contracts on a federal level. Now, Palantir is broken down into three segments, essentially, and then there's sub-segments within those segments. You have the commercial segment, then you have the sub-segment of local commercial and foreign commercial, and then you have government contracts. But the government contracts are also broken down into domestic and foreign. Furthermore, the government contracts are broken down into two pieces. You have regular government contracts, non-military government contracts, and then you have military government contracts. And each of these are also broken down into domestic and foreign. But those government contracts can also be broken down into city, state, municipality, jurisdiction, and entire federal government. So Germany signed a contract with Palantir back in March. I never seen the contract. I only seen it recently, and I don't see anybody talking about the contract, which is very interesting. It's a contract with the German State Police of Bavaria. Bavaria, if I'm not mistaken, is the largest state in Germany with a smidget north of a 13 million people population. So the Bavarian police signed this contract with Palantir for over $26 million. And why is this important? Number one, it shows that Palantir has a lot more growth than just, oh, we're going to work with Germany. We're going to work with the United Kingdoms. We're going to work with the United States. Besides for working with the entire country, which is a huge, vast undertaking, you can also work with subsets of the government for the city, state, municipalities, jurisdictions, so on and so forth, depending on how your country is broken down. And when you can get into smaller offices and not just on a federal level, this increases your ability as Palantir to connect all of these different data points. And this also increases the ability for that specific country to increase their data mesh, where they're all connecting off of different points of data in different cities, states, municipalities, jurisdictions, so on and so forth, not just on the federal level, but on the subsets and smaller data points. And the more data points you have, the more information you have, and the more information you have, the more data processing you can have, and that makes you less inefficient, therefore making you more efficient, which is exactly what Palantir does. Palantir contract with German police gets company $26.2 million for providing broad access to surveillance tools. And now this says the story is available exclusively to insider subscribers. Become an insider and start reading now. I literally don't see anybody covering this except for Business Insider, and this is the first time I came across this, which is so bizarre because usually you can find more information when it comes to Palantir and certain things. So maybe they do have like an inside scoop or they're the only ones that caught this, but thank you so much regardless, Business Insider, for giving us the story. A $26.2 million Palantir contract could grant any police officer in Germany access to the surveillance company's analytics tools, Insider has learned. A police agency in Bavaria, a German state to about 13 million people, and the country's capital signed the agreement in March of this year, according to a press release. I'm going to read it in a moment. From the Bavarian State Criminal Police Office, new details show how valuable these foreign deals have become to Palantir as it eyes increased international expansion, particularly in Europe. So we know that Palantir is in Germany. Now we know that Palantir is actually within German borders working with police. We know Palantir is in Spain. We know Palantir is in Ukraine, and we know Palantir is in the UK. At the very least, we know they are in these countries, in these NATO countries, in the European Union countries. And yes, I know not everybody's from NATO, and I know that not everybody is from the European Union. I'm just giving you guys like an example. The more that Palantir is able to expand, the more the allies use Palantir, and the more there's coordination and the more usage of Palantir. The more you use Palantir, the more efficient you become. The more efficient you become, the more you understand what Palantir does, and the more you will want to use Palantir in the future. It's very important to understand that it's not just Palantir working with a specific government. Palantir can also work with subsets of the government, which means smaller agencies within the total government, within the total country, because the country is huge, and if you have a contract with the country, that's great, but the actual government on the federal level does not control the little data points within the country. Think about it as the country is the heart, but you want to expand into little veins, right? so that they go through the entire body. And this is details. Even more successful police work. Contract for a new research and analysis system of the Bavarian police. Highest demands on data security and data protection. The Bavarian police get a new procedural research and analysis system, VERA for short. After a Europe-wide tender by the Bavarian State Criminal Police Office, the company Palantir Technologies was awarded the contract. And I quote, "We put all applicants through their paces," explained Harald Pickard, president of the Bavarian State Police Office. "We had a very strict tender criteria. Data protection is particularly important to the president. VERA will meet the highest security requirements." According to Pickett, the system servers will be located in the data center of the Bavarian police. There will be no connection to the internet. Okay, just understand what the hell he just said. The system servers will be located in the data center of the Bavarian police, but there will be no connection to the internet. Now, if you have an AI data processing system that has super confidential, super high-risk data, what is the best way to hack that data? Well, anytime you connect to the internet, that is a bridge for you to get hacked. If anybody uses cryptocurrency, right, and you have a DeFi wallet and you connect your DeFi wallet to a website, that is the bridge. That is the ability for somebody to hack you. That's why you always disconnect from sites. That's why people use VPNs. That's why people have a various other, Tor browsers, Onion browsers, so on and so forth. Because anytime you connect to the internet, that is a data breach point. That is a possibility of a data breach, and you don't want that. So Palantir is able to process your information, but you're not connected to the internet. So now the question is, well, how the hell can Palantir do something like this? They can use this because they have Palantir Apollo, they have Palantir Edge AI, and Palantir does not rely on cloud-based systems. That's very, very important that a lot of people are missing. And I quote, "Our goal is to make the police's ability to analyze and fight against and prosecute serious and organized crime and terrorism even more successful and faster." According to Pickett, VERA is a project of nationwide importance as part of a joint federal-state project, Police Program 2020, which has decided by Conference of Interior Ministers, and it's intended to standardize police procedures. Bavaria was responsible for the tendering of the new analysis software and now concluded a framework agreement. And I quote, "The new software could only be used in Bavaria," explained the BLKA president. Federal and state police now have the opportunity to use this innovative analysis system without additional time-consuming award procedures. So Bavaria took one for the team. They procured Palantir, and now state, remember state, they just said state, and federal police can use this system for data analytics and surveillance that does not connect to the internet. Pretty cool, right? And then he justifies the necessity for this new research and analytics system with a significant, increasingly challenging to the fight against crime. And I quote, "The Bavarian police must be able to keep up with the technical developments. Crime is becoming increasingly complex and digital," explained the president. "We have a particular focus on combating terrorism, organization, crime, and serious forms of crime such as sexualized violence against children. Also, with regard to the current global political situation and possible effects on our security situation, we have to make the Bavarian police's ability to analyze future-proof." And I quote, "We are concerned with speeding up the investigations, more effectively uncovering criminal networks, and also with approaches to be able to diffuse security threats more quickly." And these are the terms of the security. What does it entail? And it's very, very important to read this. There is no connection to the internet. The servers are located exclusively in Bayer's data center police. No new data is collected. Only data that has already been lawfully collected and stored is accessed. No new data is collected. No new data is collected. People, for some reason, think that Palantir is a data breach, that they steal your information. They don't do that. They don't even control the information and the data that they are processing. They just help process and analyze in near real time, take raw data and give you preemptive processed data that you can actually use in your daily routine, in your investigations, in your analytics, whatever you use the data for. They don't steal your data. So that's very important to understand. The principles of the BSI IT basic protections are fulfilled. The contractor assures compliance with no spy clause. Before the software is used, the source code is fully checked for possible malware backdoors by an independent research institute. In addition, all functionalities of the software are checked for undesirable functions in the test environment. And finally, work to be carried out is to be carried out exclusively on the premise of the Bavarian police. Guys, no internet, no spy clause, no new data. What else do you want from Palantir? No internet, no spy clause, no new data. They take the data that you have, the raw unprocessed data. They then preemptively process the data into useful information that you, your organization, can actually use. They don't steal data, they're not connected to the internet, and they're not spying on you. They also don't keep your data. What else do you want from a company? That only Palantir can do what they do. And how? Apollo and Edge AI. Plain and simple. That's how they do what they do. And no other companies have something like that. Now, people are still going to say Palantir is full of shit. They're going to say, Adam, you're a meme stock YouTuber. You don't know what you're talking about. And that's cool. I'm going to see you guys in 5 to 10 years because you guys are not doing the research that I'm doing. And that's okay. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like these type of informational videos that nobody's giving you, please consider subscribing to the channel. Let me know in the comments below, and I'm going to personally respond to your comment and say thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Have a great day.